Good morning. So, you remember what I said I was bringing today? I said grapes and clementines. You know what a clementine is? Good morning. Hey, do you want a grape or do you want a clementine? Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Did you have a good night last night?
No.
What happened?
I needed my candy yesterday.
You need it? All right, Clayton sisters, have a great day today. Other than that, you had a good night last night, right?
Yes.
It's always awesome to see a dad walking a child to school. We only have 2 dads that walk. The rest of them either moms or they're by themselves.
I don't see myself as a central office administrator. I am a teacher. Great teaching. You're molding minds. You are leading learners to become successful. You're leading students down a path that sometimes they didn't realize they needed to be on.
Okay, you like Miss Stewart? Okay, so that's why you're gonna go to school no matter what? That's great. Well, good, you're gonna go. I'm gonna tell Miss Stewart you said that. I'm going to school no matter what. I do a walkthrough in every school, pretty much every day. So this morning I like to spend time in classrooms really looking at instruction, student engagement. The morning is great because I get a chance to see literacy in the early morning hours. Most people, spend a lot of time focusing on communication arts in the AM. This week we're testing, and so much of my time is spent in the primary classes, in particular in the morning, because the morning time is testing period.
In the past, a lot of us may have been ashamed to say that our children were in the Jennings School District. It was unaccredited. Schools were not looking very good. Morale was not up. 4 years ago, that changed. Dr. Anderson came in with her feet on the ground. She was running.
And normally I'd actually be doing work through this speaker on the phone, but I will just not do that. Good morning. Very well. So map testing is going well?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
So is this your last week? When I taught, I either wore a suit or a dress every day, and I wore tennis shoes every day. The tennis shoes are really that boots to the ground, or in my case, sneakers to the ground feel. You have to be comfortable in your own skin and knowing that you come dressed for the work at hand. And for me, the work at hand is not work that I can do in heels. Are you all ready to roll this morning?
They're on their way. So.
Okay, we're gonna pop into a couple classrooms and I'll swing back by.
Okay.
She stood out. She stood out among the board members. She stood out among, within the community. So many things that she had is what we needed, and so many things that she said that she could do for us, and what she had already done. She, for each one of the school districts she had been in, they had already, she had already brought them from below average to, being accredited. And we had not seen accreditation in so many years. We were hungry for that.
Now, when we drive down West Florissant, I'll be able to point out, even this far, some of the businesses that were impacted by Ferguson and the protesters, as well as the rioters. And you'll get to see how close Jennings is to Ferguson, and and we share kids often. Approached, every evening, you would have state troopers and St. Louis County police officers cordoning off if you could come down West Florissant, trying to reduce the traffic flow. The rioters at one point came this far up West Florissant. You'll see a number of the businesses that were impacted and the empty spaces of where businesses were burned down, but just seeing how close this was to the Jennings School District and how much it impacted each of our school districts in the Jennings School District. As all this is going on, you have students who are coming in the building who are relatives, who are friends, who have all these emotions because of the connections and the relationships they've had with the Brown family. And you have kids and adults and staff members who may be witnessing or participating in some of the marching going on. So it's really a situation where kids are dealing with a great deal of stressors and emotions and trauma. So for us as a school district, we really had to be sensitive and had to be there for our students, as well as our staff members, and support them.
Ferguson was an interesting time. All the kids across the nation were walking out, and certainly all the kids in St. Louis. And the students came to me and said, Dr. Anderson, we have to walk out. They're calling us punks because we're, a predominantly black school, and everybody else has walked out, and we didn't walk out. Even the schools that were predominantly white walked out. And so, we're going to walk out. And I asked the students, where are we going to go? They said, we're going to figure that out, but we're walking out. So they all walked out the classroom. So when they walked out, they said, no justice, no peace. I joined in, no justice, no peace, no justice, no peace. I even stood on a chair in the middle, no justice, no peace. They all gathered around, that's right, and letting them know that I hear you and I'm right there with you. And then I said, okay, wait a minute, what do we want? So we heard from all the students, and the three things ended up being body cameras, community policing, and more minorities on the police force. That's a pretty good list for anyone, but certainly for our scholars or for young people. Meet me at 6 a.m. or 6:30 or so, right in front of the school. I'm gonna rent a bus, and we're gonna take it halfway to the police station, get off, and march up the street. Why? Because anyone that tells you to walk out of school isn't in for your best interest. Because in order to get the power that you want, you have to be educated. Such a powerful moment. The police department agreed to all of the demands. We now have our first African-American captain of the police force. We have our first person that's been here all year as a SRO that's African-American, who is fantastic with relationships. He's just great, Officer Franklin. So we really have shown students how they can be empowered to have a voice and really make change in ways that are sustainable. And if you put people first and you listen and give them a voice, it's amazing the transformation that can take place. It's extremely important to ensure that we really are meeting the basic needs of clothing for children so that they come to school ready to learn. Being embarrassed about clothing isn't an issue, or not having adequate clothing or shoes or socks. And they even get a chance to shop for socks or underwear or anything that they need. So just knowing you can come to school and have all of those needs met it's powerful. It truly is. How are you all doing this morning? Thank you for being here. He said he had 30 bags today.
Yeah, 30 bags.
That's a lot.
Most of our shoes, just getting everybody ready for the summer.
I was gonna say, and that's great, because as we get to the end of the summer, one of the things we'll be doing is opening the pantry every Thursday this summer. I'm every Thursday this month, and so just getting families ready. So it's great that you all are also kind of doing a little extra. 30 is a lot. Relatively
we really
speaking.
try to hit every child in the school to make sure that they have shoes
before the summer
starts.
So do we know, so if we had to say, here's how many kids we served and about the number of clothing and shoes, would we know that right off?
I want to say that we probably see Probably twice a year, 3 times a year at the beginning, and then right around now because they grow so much.
Are these either too small or too big, the ones that you had? Oh, they have a hole in them? Oh, okay, so you get new shoes today? That's exciting. Okay. Do you know what color or anything like that? Do you know any of that? Okay. And what grade are you in? This is really good before the summer.
Yeah, we always do this. This is the last quarter of the year.
You just do your largest one?
So that way, if anybody, so that way they have a new pair of shoes for the whole summer, and that way it gets them through the whole summer. And then I usually, probably this week, I'll order them a lot of everyday clothes, so that way they have clothes for the whole
Because right now all they have is uniforms, so that's a really good point. So now you order clothes for all of those kids, and will those come new as well?
Yes.
All of the clothes will come new as well for the boutique? That's also great. Do you like them? And they match your uniform?
Good.
Oh my goodness.
So stand up, jump around and see if they fit okay.
Here you go.
See if they fit. You want to see if they fit? Walk around, let me see if they fit you okay.
Look at you, they look good. Oh my, you kind of got your hands in your pocket and you're modeling. Is there a mirror over there? Here's your mirror right here for your shoes. That looks nice. So if you walk over there and then you can walk towards that mirror in front of you.
They're not sliding up and down. They feel okay?
That's great. How you serve the most vulnerable says a lot about you. It really does.
All right, bud. Bye. See you later. Have a good summer.
And we don't do that so well all the time in urban areas or in areas of high poverty. If you start with talking about resources first, the answer is almost always no. Can we do this? Well, we don't have money. Can we do this? The Hope House is a perfect example. Well, been in there, not since you've been in there. Thank you, sweetie. The Hope House, I'm so proud of this project. Oh my gosh. I want to see your room, but I guess you want to kind of take me on a tour of the house and talk a little bit about each of the spaces. I know the spaces, but you want to give me a tour?
Yes.
I asked my team, what happens to students when they don't have parents that will care for them? Whether they're incarcerated, whether they pass away, whether they are a foster child that has now been named as an independent because of their age. You know, what happens to those kids?
We eat probably around 6 or 7 every day.
So you eat together?
Yes, we all sit at the table and eat.
Every year we look at places that are doing things better than us. We learn from other places. We visited Hope House in Maplewood, Richmond Heights, which is in St. Louis. It wasn't quite the same because these children had families that were involved, but maybe a parent had their electricity off or something, and they stayed in this home that was owned by the district. All one big living room.
Oh, yes, nice.
And he actually built this whole wall. So do you like it here?
Yes, I love it here.
Do you really?
Yes. We usually sit in the living room and watch TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you normally watch it with Shelley and Scott or by yourself? Or?
With Miss Shelley.
Okay. So we left there, and I said, okay, we're going to do it. This was in the end of September, 1st of October. He said, we're going to do what? I said, okay, we're going to open up a house. So do we own any houses in the district? He said, well, we have that dilapidated old 1920s old priest rectory. We're going to do it. We're going to flip that house, y'all. Don't you watch HGTV? And I love HGTV. And so they were tickled to death. We're going to flip that house. Well, where are we going to get the money? We'll figure it out. We don't start the conversation with money. We start the conversation with students first. So let's get started. You know, when we first opened up the Hope House, before we had furniture, we would put these signs up and we would tell people what we needed. So you see like futon over there and a couch over here. And this is the goodness of people because everything in this house was donated by somebody.
Really?
Mm-hmm. But no, every piece of furniture, including everything in there, has been donated.
That's nice.
So I guess as we wind down. I understand prom was, she had another picture to share with me. So Shelley sent one, and Miss Hawk sent one, because you were so into getting there.
Yes.
Despite the rain, all was good, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was an interesting night.
So but that is so exciting. That last weekend was that, was that special. So I'm looking forward to seeing this second picture. I told her I framed the first picture. I think the one you sent me, the one by the mirror.
Yeah, that was a good one.
As far as students, we go the extra mile. It's taking the extra mile for them if we're hiring them as alumni interns. Going to make them get their first bank account or picking up their Social Security card that they may not have or find every resource for them to get a birth certificate. It's taking those extra steps to say, we care about you. And whether you're a student or a teacher, we care about you.
Dr. Anderson came in with an idea that we would provide a food pantry, so it's one central location where we could actually be able to service the entire community at one time. So at first, that was a thing where it was new to the community, it had never been done with school districts doing it, and we opened it up, and there we go. Since 2012, it's just been really going, really has been.
You want 2 apples? Where you parked at?
I mean, it's really a one-stop shop for the community because any other resources we have an open ear to be able to talk to them right there at that time to be able to provide them with necessary clothes, with toiletries, and things of that nature, and then also feed them at the same time.
I'm sorry, I just have been.
Now what you gonna do with all those potatoes? You got
all good. All good.
The kids here at our alternative school are actually working to give out the food and help others. So at the same time, kids learn how a job would be when they have one by stocking the shelves and doing orders for how many families need it and service and customer service, how to communicate and things like that.
Systems are important, not programs. Programs come and go with the leader. The people, or the movement, the leader just got them on the right path. That's all. So the power is that you now see the possibilities and you are now on the path. It's up to the people to stay on the path, and they do that in part by using the empowered voices that they have to hold themselves and others accountable for ensuring that transformation continues and that a standard of excellence is held high.
All right, let's see. If I wanted to spell dog, help me out. Me. Dog. Gee, I heard it, dog. What animal should we try to spell? Kiara, what do you think?
Cow.
Cow. Ooh, that's a good one. That's kind of a hard one. I'll go with that one. Ooh, I heard that K again, and it's a C.
We do everything we can to put students first, and it's being committed. And the teachers being committed, the administrators being committed, parents being committed, students being committed.
First of all, you just have this down so skillfully, so it's so great to see how you're doing the final. So are we talking 15, 30 minutes? Is the time that you're spending on this each morning?
Probably more 10, 15
10, 15 minutes in the way that the FAST recommends. So then with that, is there a word or two that we can throw out there? And I just love to see, the breadth and the depth in which you can go in terms of that, having heard all of these different sounds and blends that you're doing. Okay.
All right, do you think you can help me spell a word? You think you can do it? Okay. All right, let's erase our website.
It's not me that makes the work happen and possible. It's really the people that you serve and working with them and helping empower them to become the people that they need to be to really improve practice and to serve students well, or to give them the resources that they have been lacking so that they can truly do the work that we're charging them to do. First of all, good afternoon, young men and young women.
Good afternoon.
So this book, when did you start this book?
We started about maybe 3 weeks ago, right before map testing, and we've made it to chapter 5 only. So we're at the beginning discussion of what's going on and the beginning of the novel.
I teach here because I love what I do. This is my second profession, and I absolutely love it. I love what I do.
Because when you look at this, the students are actually having conversation without being prompted in any kind of way.
Exactly, and then others can pick up on what their classmates are saying.
So if you're someone that tried this and that kids weren't talking a lot initially, I'm sure there are ways that keys at the beginning had to probably prompt some stuff.
And they get points. You get points based on your responses. And if you can probe another question from another person in the group.
Okay, for a second, can y'all put yourself in Slam's shoes? Okay, so you know when Slam had helped his little brother and his brother said he'd pay him for it, would you all have gave your little siblings some of their money back, even if they said they was gonna pay you for what you did?
Really, the relationship building, I think, has really been a piece that has set us on a path of success. Dr. Anderson, all the way to central office, administrators, secretaries, into the buildings, all the way, as Ms. Wooden was saying, to the pre-K level. We're a family. When I started here back in 2010, we were a group of people, and now we're a family that's really supporting each other.
Well, congratulations on the attendance here and there. Over 90% at both schools.
And all the places that I've been, and even as a teacher, relationships are critical. They are the most important. Kids will learn from you. If they trust you, they won't if they don't. And guess what? Adults are the same way.
When I was in elementary school, I didn't have a relationship with the superintendent. I didn't even know the person. And she has made it, she's just great. I just love the fact that she goes another step to get involved with the community.
Good morning. Oh, come on back in line. Come on back in line. Oh my goodness. Oh, come on back in line. Oh, I know, oh my goodness. So, and you have a button on. Is it your birthday?
It was yesterday.
It was yesterday. Just the button is extra day of birthday.
Yes. Still celebrating.
How are you doing? Good, fine.
Good. How are you?
Very well.
Good.
It's definitely the relationships pedagogy curriculum. Relationships playing a central leverage point for all of those things, which reinforces our focus on the whole child. We believe that in order to build those trusting and meaningful relationships, you have to take care of all of those basic needs. And then there's the focus on instruction and delivery of instruction and looking at data.
We absolutely love data. It's like being a physician, diagnosing problems, treating problems. And in doing so, we do that by every week. There's generally a weekly assessment, which teachers do anyway. When you teach something, it's real-time assessing kids all the time, every day. But at the end of the week, giving that final weekly assessment to say, did they master the concepts? And we really aren't tracking worksheets and problems, but concepts, standards. Did they master the standard? So if it's fractions, did they master the standard on fractions that you taught this week?
A big thing that has helped Jennings is the responsiveness to data, not just looking at it, but what do you do and how do you support teachers and help them improve their instruction, as well as continuing to meet the needs of students and families within the district.
Of course, it became a white phenomenon because of segregation.
People had never seen a black man surfing before. They were amazed.
Yes, Ms. Foster.
So, according to the video, it seems as if African Americans have been surfing for quite some time. Why then do you think that they're not represented in the media?
I feel as if since segregation, it didn't allow African Americans to really get to surf and stuff like that, because it was really something white people do in African.
Student achievement has dramatically increased. When I started 4 years ago, below 50% causes for a district to be unaccredited, and we were meeting 56% of the standards. So we were really bordering becoming unaccredited, and we were provisionally accredited. Shortly after that, the very next year, we were in the upper 60s. The next year, we exceeded the accreditation benchmark, which is meeting 70% of the standards, and we met 78. We do still have a long way to go in math and literacy. To be honest, we could meet 100% of the standards and improve academically, and I'd still say we have a long way to go because there's no stopping point to improvement.
We are intelligent.
I'm constantly researching and looking for best practices and best instructional practices and best resources. And the bottom line is, am I good enough? Because they deserve the absolute best that I can give them. So I keep pressing toward that. That's what keeps me motivated and going, and what else can I do?
Option 1 that they had to complete, I'm trying to follow their notes to see.
Yes, ma'am. So this is one example of solving problems where you're given like an angle of elevation or an angle of depression.
I really enjoy her coming in and asking questions because they get used to me asking questions all the time, and I'm trying to challenge their thought process. So to get it from a different voice, I think it's very helpful for me because now they're, being challenged by someone else to, expound on what you're saying. So it gives them an opportunity to practice different social skills that they may not just practice with me in the classroom with other students.
Did some of you all get the wrong answer when you squared it on the calculator? Is it just because you don't use calculators much, or did all of you get the right answer when you squared it on the calculator?
Yes.
Okay, maybe I just didn't see it fully then on some of your answers, because it appeared that some of the answers were a little off because you're not using calculators as much, which I think is fantastic, but you can work it out in your mind. So this picture here, how does that actually help you? Because again, when we give problems and it's just the narrative, how did that help you kind of figure this out? Yes, ma'am.
The picture actually helps us figure it out because the tree actually forms side A of the problem.
Like I was in a classroom just now, and some of the questions, sometimes I turn on my cell phone audio recorder, and I'll tell the teacher, hey, great time in your classroom. I taped just how many questions you ask, or what kinds of questions, or do you think this lesson, like looking here, I may see, okay, this lesson was supposed to be at a depth of knowledge of 3, but maybe it was at a 1. And so it's really being a teacher partner. Take off the title of superintendent. At the end of the day, I'm a teacher, and the classroom just looks different. And so, what I would be saying to that teacher, you didn't ask why much. So I added a little bit at the end because that's kind of what I'm going to be asking him later. Hey, if this picture wasn't here, would they have gotten it? And where do they get confused? So that piece of being just another kind of coach in a classroom, seeing how he's facilitating learning. Love that he asked lots of questions. Love that it's at a high level in terms of the content.
So X is about 51 and 2/10.
A lot of people count urban schools out and say, oh, they can't achieve because they're in poverty, or they can't achieve because they have this kind of social economical status. We say all kids can achieve no matter where they are, and they can be greats. They can go to Harvard, they can go to Yale, they can go anywhere they want to go. All it takes is someone saying you can do it. And so we know that they can do it, and so we push that.
So name and grade.
Aaliyah Brown. I'm a senior.
All right, that's my maiden name, Miss Brown, senior. What are you doing next year?
I'm going to college for biology.
Okay, what college have you decided?
Russ College.
The biology teacher across at the middle school, or the science teacher, she graduated from Russ. She's like the biggest Russ fan. She was asking, anybody going to Russ? I want to have lunch with them. I'm gonna connect her with you since she's a science teacher as well. So I'll connect her with you, okay? I'll ask Dr. Key to remind me.
One of the expectations, it's not even a goal anymore, it's an expectation really, that when our seniors graduate, 100% of them are placed either in a job, or they're in the military, or they're enrolled in college.
I decided to go to college at a young age. It was kind of the thing we had to do. It was something that we were supposed to. I was always taught that we had to go. And me looking at college, I was scared. I was like, it's time to grow up. I can't be all stuck in my ways anymore. I was reading biographies on famous people that went to college and what colleges they went to. It made me think, well, college is gonna prepare me. It's gonna make me ready.
Do you know what you want to be when you leave high school?
Yes.
Okay, and what is that? A lawyer. Oh my goodness. Okay. So you have some good negotiation skills? Do you argue a lot?
Yeah.
You do. So you have to know to do that at the right time and not do that at the right time?
That's
Is that
correct.
part of this issue? Okay. So Ms. Sanders, future lawyer, do you know what college you think you might want to go to? Can you look down the hallway and see colleges that other people went to? Yes. What college did Ms. Rouse go to? You want to walk a little closer? Do you wear glasses?
No.
Okay.
Webster University.
Yes, and then you see Ms. Williams with the St. Louis University, that's where I went. So then that means that for you, you can look and see where other people went, but I'm gonna come back and ask you, because if you're gonna go to college, that means you gotta spend less time in the principal's office and more time in the classroom. So next thing I'm gonna ask you, what college and how are you gonna get there? In order to be a lawyer, you have to do a lot of reading and writing. A lot. All right, have a good rest of your day, okay? Good. All right, we're gonna get started. I know there's not, kind of the seats are a little separated. So we have folks kind of a little bit everywhere. So we're just gonna get through the agenda. And then the yearbooks came in today. I'm so excited. I haven't even seen the yearbooks other than pulling out 2 copies. And I haven't even flipped through it yet. So you and I will see it for the first time. And you guys will be the first people to see it. I don't even know if Dr. Mack knows the yearbooks are in yet. And he is the main person that helps put it all together. So we're excited about that. So on the agenda, and if you all don't mind, you know, it's all about business. So we're gonna do regular business like it's not my last pack. And then when Dr. McCoy comes in, then we'll let him, you know, we'll go ahead and turn it over to him to speak for a minute. And then, if you'd asked me if I was going to go to Topeka 4 months ago, I would have said, get out of here. I can't imagine not being in Jennings.
When I first heard that she was leaving, I was very upset that she was leaving. She had a meeting with a few of us, and she told the story of why she was going to Topeka. And they are basically in the same dilemma that Jennings was in when she first came. So I was like, well, she's gonna do the same thing for them that she did for us. And we're already in a good state right now, so I would want her to do the same thing for their schools.
If she's leaving for a reason. She wouldn't just leave us, you know? So I was like, if there's somebody else that needs her help more than we do, then she should go.
And I know it has to happen before I leave, because Mr. Green is gonna get me, come to Topeka. He will email, he'll smile at me at a baseball game, then email me that night. And what about this? When is it gonna happen? And I appreciate that. That level of accountability, expectation, especially coming from a former board member who knows it. So Topeka, the landmark where Brown versus Board of Education took place 63 years ago. 63 years later, they did not, have never had an African-American female superintendent. And I met Linda Brown, the student that was the student that, you know, was the heart of the Brown v. Board case. She has I believe she's had a great-great-grandchild in the school system. Isn't that something? So Topeka is another opportunity to take on challenges and help change mindsets and build onto the many, many successes that they have at many of their schools. They have 30 schools, but they also have schools that are a work in progress, like Jennings. So it's another opportunity. The rest of the ones, if we don't have enough left over, principals know that yours will be delivered, a copy will be delivered to your buildings. But just, so I haven't even seen it. Other than Dr. McCoy, and I think I mentioned this to you, the books were being printed. And I said, you guys have to stop printing, bring the books back, redo the page. And so on the page with the board, just to kind of show the passing the torch, they actually had to reprint the books so we could add your photo. So you have my photo, but you have your photo as part of the Jennings team added on here. So it really is a passing of the torch in the final yearbook that I have the honor to be part of. So I welcome you to Jennings, and I'm so excited about all that I know that will continue under your leadership.
The destination is accreditation with distinction. So the district has come so far in 4 years to come from a place of being less than accredited to being fully accredited. And the goal is to go towards accreditation and be accredited with distinction in short order. We can do this.
We know what is possible now, thanks to Dr. Anderson.
Our children know what's possible. They've got a spark and an interest in learning. She's let them see that they can be somebody.
We're going to be going into the College Prep Academy, and I'm excited because this is the promotion ceremony. And Regents Bank, which I missed going to the field trip, Regents Bank is our partner. So we have a bank that sends all of their employees to mentor our 8th grade students. And we together are working on changing the community in terms of ensuring that it's not an unfunded, unbanked community. So they have invested time, resources, talent, and they will be at the students' promotional ceremony. So I'm excited about that, which starts in about 20 minutes.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
4 years in the district have been completed. They will graduate with a high school diploma and an associate's degree from St. Louis Community College. Dr. Anderson, would you please come to the stage and accept a token of our appreciation? We want you to never forget the Jennings School District.
My goodness.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So awesome. You're so awesome. Thank you. You got tennis shoes. They have tennis shoes on here. It's a picture with tennis shoes walking. You don't even need my face. You already know who it is with the white tennis shoes. Thank you, Ms. Foster, Ms. Davis, the many teachers. This has really kind of touched me in a way, just to hear all of the accolades. You all are awesome, truly. So thank you for your commitment. Good leaders ask great questions. And even better, leaders listen to those answers and build from that. Everything that we do is so that we can make sure that we are better and others are better because of our interaction with them. We are all interconnected. I cannot do well unless you do well, and you can't do well unless the person next to you does well. You are interconnected. And so let me give you an example of this to our students. I am so proud of you. Many people count you out because of where you live, because of how you look, because of who you are. Often, most superintendents are men. Most superintendents are white men. Many people would count me out, but I don't allow it. Not only do I count me in, but others that are around me count me in. Count me in. And so we are counting on you. So that connectivity, let me go back to that, just so you leave here and say, let me think about that just a little bit more. Because if you don't have relationships, it's not just about what you know, but also who you know. Connectivity that inspires. It's the connections that you make even when you don't meet the other people. Kelsey, someone I met last week, I was on crossing guard duty and they needed a ride to school and they were telling me all about what they're going to be singing in the new Dreamgirls play. And I said, what got you into music? Well, they said, well, I was watching The Wiz and Dorothy, which we know was you, sang so beautifully. And I thought, I don't even know her, but I want to do that. You're a middle school student inspiring a high school. You are a connector. Last week, I was in Boston at Boston University, and they were looking through all of the pictures, and Harvard just published a piece on Jennings, and it talked about Ferguson. And they had this beautiful picture of students marching and cheering, and the person right up front was one of our college prep students. You are a connector. I could go on, but I say this, relationships are everything. When you see me walking up and down the street, it's not just because I like to walk. It's because I understand that you must be a connector if you're going to transform yourselves and change the world. And that is your charge. is to be better than you were yesterday and to help those around you become better than they are today. And so I leave you with knowing that this investment in you is because we know that you have potential beyond what others can see. I leave you with knowing that relationships are key, but we are counting on you.
I'm counting on you.
Count me in.
I'm counting
On you.
Count me in.
I'm counting on you.
Count me in.
I'm counting on you.
Count me in.
Thank you, and congratulations, college prep.
I see us as going forward. I don't see that she has left us. I think her spirit is still here.
We will miss her because we love her.
She has made me go back and get my white tennis shoes because I want to be a role model for my little people when she leaves.
And so, this is really a spirit that I continue to take with me. It's been a privilege. Jennings has given to me just as much as I believe I've given to Jennings.